Thanks for joining us on Couch Guy Hollywood, here with the latest and greatest movie news in Hollywood. It's Coop. I'm here with Nick in the back, Carly and Sean, and we got a new guy here on today. It was kind of a last minute little switch up. John was supposed to be here, and Carly was supposed to be here. She's a little sick, but she's back here. She's all good. But we got Curry, my buddy Curry here. How you doing, Curry?
Great.
Yeah, good to have you here, man. What have you been up to, man?
So I've been working during the quarantine as much as I can.
What do you do? Why don't we can start with that? You've never been on here before, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, I can't believe it.
I edit. So I edit films for people. I edit films of my own. I love sound design, so I do that. I like to compose music as well.
Yeah.
I love directing and writing films. So I'll do everything and make it into something. I just recently finished my next film, Contemplation. It's only like 6 minutes long. It's pretty awesome.
What's it about?
It's about,
If you can tell us, yeah.
well, it's about the psychology that goes through someone's mind when they're about to commit suicide. But it's and I know you've talked about how like you don't like films that are directly about suicide because it's like kind of cliche. But my argument would be that it plays into every single thing about suicide that's not in films. So it's almost like it breaks the stereotype.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting watch.
Yeah, I mean, you've been writing it you were writing it over COVID.
Yeah, I mean,
while we were quarantined.
It's not a long script, so it didn't take me long to write, but I just had this idea of like, what if someone made a film that actually focused on the thoughts that people had?
Yeah.
Instead of just like, oh, I'm going to kill myself. Like it's all about like, what if I aim it here? Is it going to hurt? What if I miss? There's these...
I've seen it. It's actually pretty interesting. It's intriguing. It's different, when you get that when you hear that idea, because we live together, so I've heard about this all from the start, and I was like, oh wow,
yeah.
But then you're doing it, and I was like, okay, all right, and then I saw it, and it's like, oh
yeah, and it took a while to get done, just because I had to wait for like different equipment to come in and stuff like that. I waited for an air compressor. For a reason I'm not going to share, unless you want to go watch it, you'll probably figure out why I needed an air compressor.
Yeah.
But
how did being in COVID kind of affect I guess your creative process at all?
A lot. I mean, it affected every aspect of what I could do, what I couldn't do, how long I had to wait until I could shoot it, where I could shoot it, picking up the equipment to get it. Like I remember me and Austin went to Home Depot. But it was closed on certain days. We had to wait, and so obviously COVID was it's a big challenge for everybody.
Yeah.
Curry, people are asking where they can watch it. I have multiple asking.
Great. So anyone that follows me on Instagram, cbarker509, you can just click on my bio and it's right there. You'll probably see a poster for it, everything like that. So it's pretty easily accessible. And also it's on Popcorn Culture, which is my YouTube channel where we do a lot of stuff together, actually. So, yeah.
And you're an actor too, so I mean, talk about maybe what's been going on with you acting wise before COVID or during COVID, how that affected you as well.
Before
in
COVID,
front of the camera.
Before COVID, everything was pretty great. I got an agent, so I was going on auditions. Things were flowing, and then boom, COVID hit. And I think that's affected us pretty similarly, but like, there was a momentum that was there, and now the momentum has been completely broken. And now I know that when this thing is over, I'm gonna have to work hard to get that momentum back, which is really sad.
And you and I, we bottom of last year and top of this year, we were doing a lot of extra work on certain sets, and you were on some pretty big ones too. I remember, and like that was kind of one thing you were doing, and it was probably a really interesting, it's a really interesting perspective, and it's a lot of fun, and you get a lot of experience on it, and. We've been talking the last couple of weeks about what's going on and how they're probably going to be starting to use, CGI with, extras and background people. Like, what's your thoughts on that? How do you feel about stuff like that going on in the film industry?
I think that for a lot of people, extra work was a good way into the door. It's a good way to become SAG. You know, it's a good way to get on set. You know, people say you got to put in your time on set. If you haven't been on a set, you can't expect to be. You know, it's a good way to get yourself in front of a big camera. That camera is intimidating. But I'll tell you, even being an extra on set, you still feel that camera. You know what I mean? Even though you don't have any lines, and even though you're in the background, that camera's on you. You still feel it. So the more you can put yourself in front of that camera, the more comfortable you get. And I think that COVID has really taken that opportunity away for a lot of people. You know, I think that being an extra is going to be like a profession of extinction for a little bit, you know.
Hashtag profession of extinction.
I mean, for a little. I mean,
Yeah.
for real. Until this
for
thing
real.
finishes, I don't think extras are really going to be a thing for a long time. Yeah. And I was able to actually like quit one of my jobs to just be an extra because it brings in enough money, and I definitely can't do that anymore. So
Blows, yeah. Anything else you're working on currently, or upcoming?
we just did a pilot.
We did,
together.
yeah, we did
Backyard
actually.
Boys.
I guess that's
I just finished editing that today.
really
So yeah, you haven't seen it yet,
sweet.
and I'm excited to show you.
Excited to see it.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
were working with Anthony Pavoni, a good friend of ours.
Producer, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome, man. Well, we're excited to have you on. Is this your first podcast? Not this podcast, obviously, not this podcast, but ever? Have you ever done a podcast?
No, I've done a couple. You know, we were on Tyrone's that one time.
That's
remember?
right. Yeah.
That's more of like a radio thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is pretty much my first time being on a actual podcast. Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of movie news today. We got a little movie review. I don't know if you saw Greyhound. We'll talk about
No,
that
I haven't.
in a second. But a lot of great things going on. Nick, how you doing? I didn't really say hi to you back there.
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
What have you been up to, brother?
Nothing.
Ready for
just-
Thursday?
Of course.
Oh yeah, we'd also like to just announce we originally last week Romance and Rebellion was supposed to be on Thursday. They're going to be showing up Tuesday next week here on the couch. Come check them out. Give them a listen. I'm sure they're on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you can find them. Yeah, they're great. But they'll be here next week. Who's coming? Of the band?
Well, I said the lead singer, and then you guys, if you come, you'll see who the other person is. I don't want to say who it is.
Yeah, so
Mystery
Romance and
Man.
Rebellion.
Exactly.
Yeah. Next week on Tuesday. Yeah. Well, a lot of great things have happened in the last couple days. I mean, Martin Scorsese just got a new gig. He's directing the upcoming Mike Tyson biopic with Jamie Foxx.
There we go.
And that's crazy.
Did he ask people for money?
No, I don't think he's gonna have to ask people for money on this one because it's a studio pick. So I think it's gonna be much easier for him. But it's interesting because he's got a. I don't know, Nick. I don't know if you know if Scorsese's done two movies like Spielberg's done. Back-to-back movies in the same year. He did Schindler's List and Jurassic Park in '93. I don't know if he's gonna be kind of overlapping his schedule with Killer of the Flower Moon with DiCaprio or not, but it's going to be a big year for him. Excited to see that. But yeah, so we got Greyhound came out 2 weeks ago, I think. We're a little late on it. Tom Hanks. I want to talk about that. You haven't seen it yet, Curry?
Seen the trailer.
You've seen the trailer. I saw the trailer too. I checked out the movie last night.
Which it just came out. Like, it hasn't been out for that long.
No, it hasn't. It was originally supposed to come out in theaters, but due to COVID, it's now on Apple TV Plus. They bought it for $70 million, and
Wow.
over a $50 million budget. Tom Hanks wrote the movie, and he's
Did he direct as well?
he didn't direct it. He just wrote it. It's based off a book. I forget which book. But yeah.
Maybe it's Greyhound, the book.
I don't think it's called Greyhound. It's
Maybe
called
not.
something else. It's a bit. So it's the movie's set entering World War II. It's at the Battle of the Atlantic. Follows this USS destroyer, codenamed the Greyhound, and the crew on that. And it's kind of just, it's kind of like a battleship movie, kind of. You said the trailer. What were your first thoughts when you saw that trailer? Corey?
Okay, I'm a huge fan of Tom Hanks. Like, I really, I mean, he's a phenomenal actor.
Forrest Gump.
But there was just something about this trailer, even from the first time I saw it, that I was just kind of like, not his best work. Just something about the delivery of like a certain line, like there I was just like, it almost felt like he was trying. and it never feels like that with him. Like he does these crazy characters. Like Forrest Gump is nothing like Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
That is a character that he
Big.
did. Big. That is a character.
Yeah.
But then, and so he does characters and it's natural, you know, and it's like, wow. Mm-hmm. But there was something about this trailer, and I'm just giving my personal honest opinion.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was kind of like, oh, he's doing a character. And it was like, it was in my mind that he was doing character.
You think that has to do with, we were actually having a conversation about this the other night, but, you know, like, acting over, I don't know if he's written anything else before. I think he's done a couple other things. I don't know if he's been in it, but, you know, he's headlining the movie and he wrote it. I don't know. Do you think that has to, you know,
maybe
brings in a factor as something that makes his performance come off differently? Or
I think maybe you are touching on something. I mean, Cooper's a writer as well. You know, and we were having a discussion about how, you know, you don't like to write parts for yourself. You know, because then you keep thinking like, I would write it how I'm gonna say it and have you in your mind. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, you'd probably be better writing a character completely with yourself not in mind. And then you'd be surprised that you could probably play it amazingly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So maybe him writing it really affected his performance. Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, you know, watching the trailer. Have you seen the movie, Nick?
No, I haven't.
No.
By the way, to answer your question, the movie is based off The Good Shepherd, which is a novel from 1955.
Correct.
So
That's
I'll
right.
let you know, but I have not seen it.
But I just want to say, like, I haven't seen the movie. I'm really talking a lot for someone that hasn't seen the movie. I've just seen the trailer, and Tom Hanks is always an amazing actor, so I really don't have much to say here.
Well, I have a lot more to say.
Okay.
You know, the $50 million, you know, for a big war movie. I think the first problem, there were a lot of problems with the movie. There wasn't a lot of great things. I mean, you know, there was the story between him and his wife a little bit, and but it mostly takes place on this, you know, destroyer and him and the crew. I mean, the performances were fine. I don't think it's anything, you know, Oscar worthy. But like the movie just felt, I don't know, you watch other war movies like Hacksaw Ridge and Saving Private Ryan, which Tom Hanks is in, and he's
bigger
not,
budgets though, for sure.
Bigger budgets, there's a different feel to him. I don't know if it's the you know, being on the water, but it kind of felt like they were kind of in a set the entire time, or they're on a green screen. It felt a bit animated, actually, with just the way it was edited, in my opinion.
I'm curious enough to where I would actually sit down and watch it.
It's entertaining a little bit, but at the same time, I kind of just felt myself zoning out a bit, and it was shooting back and forth, and you know, all that, and there wasn't really. Here's another big problem. The movie's an hour and 15 minutes long.
That's a short movie.
Very, very short. It's not even. It doesn't even feel like a full arc. Which also, it's kind of like, am I seeing the whole thing? You know, it just feels quick, and which isn't a bad thing, but it's just quick, and it's a little too quick. And
interesting.
But you know,
and it's interesting you say that though, because most of the time people complain about like a movie drags on or is too long. Yeah. But what people don't realize is that there is also a problem of like if a studio gets a hold of it and makes it too short, like that's what they're saying happened to Justice League. Like is that the studio got a hold of it, made it as short as they possibly could, cut plot points, everything like that.
Now they got like a 214-minute movie coming out on HBO or something.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna have hopefully something good.
Oh, you're talking about the new one.
The new one,
the Snyder cut. Which hopefully is good. Who knows?
Yeah. But you know, I know what you mean. But there's not a great deal to say about this. I don't think it's gonna be anything Oscar worthy. Nothing really struck me. I'd say it's one of the more weaker movies of the year.
Well, it's interesting actually now that I think about it that you've said that the movie was too short, because another thing that is a really big part of how long a movie is the writing.
Yeah,
I mean, if he didn't write a story that's a complete story that has like a beginning, middle, and end, that's on the writer typically.
Yeah.
So as Tom Hanks, someone that is an actor, you know, trying to do something else, I don't know if he's written anything else.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You mind checking that out, Nick? See if
Yeah,
he's
of
written
course.
anything else. But I mean, maybe if it is his first thing, I think this might have been one of his passion projects. So that's awesome. I think that's great that he's doing that, especially this far into his career. He's still finding new ways to hit the screen and attack the screen in a great different way because it's Tom Hanks. It's a big deal, a big selling point too.
Did you ever see? Sorry,
which one?
It's a Wonderful Day in the Neighborhood.
Oh no, I haven't.
Did you ever see that?
I haven't. No,
yeah,
no.
I don't even remember.
I heard
if
it was
that
good. I heard it was good.
Okay,
I
cool.
think we should.
It
watch
was
that.
really good. I watched it.
Was it? Yeah,
you should watch it.
Weren't you the one who said I need to watch that movie the other day?
Yep, pretty sure.
When we watched that piece of crap, The Grudge.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's still doing good stuff.
Yeah, and
this
he's
isn't
got,
like a make it or break.
He's
for
got
him.
the Elvis movie coming out too.
Oh,
and by the way, he
Playing the
wrote
manager.
Larry Crown. By the way, according
That's
to
right.
me,
He wrote
yes.
Larry Crown, which also wasn't the best. Him and Julia Roberts. That was back in 2011. I don't know if he's directed anything. I don't think he has. But maybe this he's kind of opening a door for himself. I think if he wants to, he should. I bet he's got a lot of time on his hands, especially with everything going on, everything that went on with him. Maybe he's been writing something else.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
He's written 2 movies that have been made.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he could start his writing career if he really wanted to.
Probably.
Oh, he did Band of Brothers, and someone did say
That's
that
right.
in the comments.
He
so
directed
sorry.
Band of Brothers. I've been
Correct.
dying to watch
Really?
that.
Well, he
And-
wrote it too.
Did he
But
write
yeah.
it really?
Yeah, he wrote one episode.
See, so he kind of he knows that he knows the war essence. I heard the Band of Brothers is like one of the best things ever.
But then
I'm gonna
again,
go check that out.
I'm interested to see what the reviews for Greyhound are because I mean,
I think they were down in the 40s. 50s.
oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I believe. I'm not really. I could be wrong about that.
Interesting.
But here. And one more thing, I think the biggest thing is when I'm watching this movie, I'm watching it on Apple TV Plus. So it's like I'm watching an Apple TV Plus movie, but this movie was supposed to come out in theaters.
Yeah.
So that was another big thing. I was really about people were really gonna go into this movie. Like it didn't. It was like. It didn't feel like a movie. You know how you watch a Netflix movie sometimes it's like that feels just like a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
And even like I watched The Lovebirds on Netflix recently. And I was like that was supposed to have a wide release. But I was like this feels. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's
and
like
that's another thing that COVID is really affecting is like, and I brought this up to
it's
you.
affecting the way I watch this stuff.
Well, it's actually the fact that we're 20 years old, 2021, and for the first time in our lives, there aren't movies coming out in the theater. For the first time in our lives, since we've been alive. Like this isn't like a thing that
box
happens
office never stops. It doesn't stop on Christmas.
It doesn't stop
on New
It's
Year's.
stopped. There's movies coming out. They're going to your TV. There's no like movies coming out of the movie theater. Every single movie that has been made is being pushed back again and again and again. And it's like it really changes the way you watch movies. It feels different.
And another thing is like you look at a movie like Tenet coming out, and you're like, that's a movie you're gonna see in the theater. That's a film. And then you see Greyhound, you're like, was it really supposed to be like? It felt like maybe it was set up to be an Apple TV Plus movie.
Really?
You know what I mean? That's how it felt to me.
Or maybe it just would have looked better on the big screen.
But it's like I don't know. There's maybe I'm not sure.
Last movie I saw in
You have
theaters.
to check it out and tell me. But yeah, what was
Invisible Man. Last movie I got to see.
See, that was
Thank
awesome.
God I got to see it before all the movie theaters.
Me and Nick saw The Hunt. You remember that?
We
Nick?
did. I mean, that movie was fun. It was weird, but
Perfect little date night.
yep. There was more than 2 of us though. There was like 6, right?
Yes,
6
yeah.
or 5 of us. Anyways, going back to since you guys were talking about Tom Hanks and just obviously we're talking about this movie, we have a question. Do you guys think that Tom Hanks put more heart into his Greyhound role or his Toy Story role? I mean, I feel like you know the answer. You might know the
I've
answer.
seen him do his. Actually, that is kind of a good question because I think he put more of his heart in maybe the writing of this of Greyhound, but definitely Toy Story. Obviously, I mean, have you seen him behind the scenes do the voiceovers? He's like into it, He's crying.
Yeah, but I mean,
What do you think?
Sure. Like I know that there's a lot put into voiceover work that people don't realize. Like people get really into that,
Yeah.
and give good like performances and stuff. Like you should. I mean, you have, but like you should see some of the behind the scenes. It's crazy. But I think in this, he had to have at least done some more research or something. He's been playing Woody for years. He probably like this is based off of a real person, or maybe
just
based off of a book? Okay,
It's probably. I think true events probably.
Yeah,
I
mean, you can tell he's doing something.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he had to have put some type of research into it.
Mm-hmm,
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before we stray away from the Greyhound conversation, I just want to throw out the couch cushions for this one. I'm going to give it 2 couch cushions out of 5.
Really? Wow,
Yeah.
I was expecting like 3. I thought like 3.
No, 2.
Yeah.
What? Wasn't really my cup of tea.
I'll have to watch it I'll watch it so we can talk about it later.
You check it out, and
I'm just curious.
Another one, I want to. Nick will probably talk about this later, but have you heard of The Rental?
I think I have. Yeah.
Dave Franco just came out the other day. It's on VOD. I'm gonna watch it. I think
we'll talk about that. We'll do that for next week. About it.
But yeah, interesting.
Next Thursday.
Another actor, first time director, writer too. So
Dave Franco is a director.
He's directing, writing, and acting.
Wow.
No, he's not acting in it. My bad.
Oh.
But he's first time director, writer.
There's a lot of actors in Hollywood becoming directors now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like way more than that. That never used to be a thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's becoming a thing so much more now.
Okay, big thing happened last week. I got really excited seeing this one. So the Russo brothers just signed on to do, or were just bought. Netflix just bought this $200 million movie from the Russo brothers with the writers of Avengers Endgame, and the Russo brothers directed Avengers Endgame and the other, Captain America's and Avengers movies. With it's an espionage thriller. It's starring Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans.
Interesting.
I can't really tell you more because that's all they really had. I know it's two, like an assassin and a CIA agent, and I think they're against each other or something.
Yeah.
I didn't really get a log line on that.
I feel like to talk about this movie, you have to address the movie that just came out on Netflix that was by the Russo brothers, starring
they didn't direct it. Yeah, Extraction.
Oh, Extraction, right.
But
I thought they were
producers.
They were like totally on set.
And I think they're gonna be directing the second one that just got greenlit.
Extraction
2.
2?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like,
what are your thoughts? Yeah.
About Extraction?
This movie's called The Gray Man, by the way. That's what the movie's called.
Interesting. I'm gonna watch it because I love. I love
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. I love Ryan Gosling.
And Chris Evans has been having a great career lately, defending Jacob.
If you haven't seen Defending Jacob, go watch Defending Jacob.
Let's talk about that later. We never talked about that before on here. But yeah, you were saying about Extraction.
Extraction is, for me, I think, overrated. I couldn't even watch the whole thing.
And it is the number 1 watched Netflix movie in the world right now. 99 million viewers.
That's insane to me. Like, don't get me wrong. I love a great action flick.
Yeah.
But I tried twice to watch this movie. And everyone's like, you have to watch it. It's got some of the best action scenes you've ever seen in cinema. I'm like, what? So I turn on the TV. I try to watch it. And I don't know what it is. Maybe I wasn't in the mood. Maybe I was caught at a bad time. But I could not watch this movie.
I didn't. Did I even see the whole thing?
No, we tried to watch it together.
That's right. I didn't watch the whole thing, but from what I saw, like the story wasn't like amazing, but it had a cool concept. I thought the action was okay. I thought the camera style was a lot of long shots, chase scenes,
I usually like that.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I thought it was it felt a little. It reminded me a bit of Call of Duty a little, and I like Call of Duty, and I think Netflix does those movies that make you feel like you're in COD. Like Triple Frontier was another one with Oscar Isaac.
Well, here, you know what? It's one of those movies where I feel like I have to watch it because people have talked about it, and and it's one of the top rated on Netflix right now. It has to be watched, but I'm gonna have to force myself to sit down and watch it.
And there's a sequel coming.
Yeah,
but I think I think Netflix is kind of just prone to doing sequels by now. Like I see this movie, The Gray Man just got dropped, and I was like, well, they're probably going to do a second. I bet because Gosling and Evans have never been on the screen together. That sounds like
crazy.
That's like a Leo and Brad Pitt.
Well, they do very different movies. Let's just say that. I mean, like Ryan Gosling's in La La Land, and then you got Captain America. It's not like they're in the same genre.
But now he's doing Knives Out.
Yeah, sure.
And then Gosling's has done Drive. Like we've seen them all do a variety of things.
That's like having like Chris Chris Pratt with Leo DiCaprio in a movie. 2 stars.
Yeah, that hasn't happened.
See, that would be a weird duo. Might be great though. might be fantastic. I don't know. I mean, those are two great. I love both those actors.
Yeah.
But it's just like that's kind of a weird thing you never really thought about.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited for this, and that $200 million budget. It goes back to that conversation we were having a couple weeks ago, Nick, where Apple just picked up Scorsese's new movie, for $200 million. So it's like. Or maybe 205. I'm not sure. It's kind of like it feels like there's a battle going. Let's see who can get
like there's movie
the biggest
theaters
budget movie
to fight.
Exactly. But it's I'm really excited to see Gosling. I don't think Nick, could you check this for me? I don't think Gosling's done a movie since Blade Runner 2049 back in 2017, I think it was. So he's kind of been.
I bet he's done an indie.
We watched 7500, a couple weeks ago, the one with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, JGL. And we talked about it on here. And he'd taken a break for a while, and now he's just got 3 movies, another trailer for his new movie on Netflix.
You're forgetting about one big movie.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh no! Hold on. First Man.
Yeah.
2018. That was his last one.
And then he played a blue penguin voice in My Favorite Shapes by
that does not
Julio
count.
Torres. It's a TV movie.
Nope, that doesn't.
Are you
count.
sure it doesn't count?
It counts.
That's 2019. Whatever.
No.
It was an HBO.
Well, I've never heard
All
of it.
art
I
is
never
art.
heard of it either.
All art is art. You're
Yes.
right. But he's kind of been on a break, and we haven't. I heard a few months ago that he was taking a break because he was gearing up for his next big role. And now
we
the
know
Wolf.
what it is.
Well, the Wolfman. He just pitched himself to the Wolfman we were talking about to Universal. And they're doing
Which
that
is
movie.
great because if it's anything like The Invisible Man,
and it's
gonna be
directed by the
amazing.
guy who directed The Invisible Man.
Exactly.
So,
God, I love that.
But and now he's doing this, and then I think I saw like a couple other projects he's doing. So I checked his IMDb the other day, and it's crazy to see him go on a break, and I don't know if this is what he's gearing up for, but I'm excited. I love Gosling. Drive, La La Land. We watched La La Land. You watched that for the first time the other night?
See, La La Land was a piece of art. And I'm very upset that it took me so long to watch it. Yeah. But I watched it. Because, here's the thing. I'm not usually gravitated towards musicals, even though I love music and I love, like, any form. I mean, I'm a composer. I compose music.
Yeah.
So, like, I love it. But, like, I'm not like, oh, let's break out into song and express our feelings. Like, that's not really my thing. But this movie does it right in every single way.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
I mean, it's a work of art. I mean, it gives you goosebumps more than a couple times. And then we watched Moonlight just because we were like, why not?
Oh yeah, we had to see the
competitors.
the rivalry.
Yeah, and it was good. It was really good. But La La Land was better. It just was.
You heard it here first. Oh, did you like Moonlight better?
Moonlight's far better.
I
than
like
La La Land.
Moonlight was good. I thought the ending was kind of it kind of just ended. That was it for me.
That was a beautiful ending.
I
Way better than La La Land again.
They both had great endings though. It was both like a heartbreaking ending.
I
thought I don't know.
I've definitely learned.
We can
just
fight about
from
this later.
being a big film fan, there's always like these movies that are beloved by so many people that I never like, and then there's movies I love that like other people don't like, and it's almost sometimes it's like, whoa, are we watching the same movie? And I've realized that like there's for me there's movies that are good that people tell me are good, and it's almost a chore that I have to watch it, and I finally do. And then there's movies that are so good that they just gravitate you instantly and you watch the whole thing. Yeah. It's like Game of Thrones versus Handmaid's Tale. It's like Game of Thrones is good. It's a beloved show. Everybody loves it that watches it. But you almost have to force yourself to watch that first season. Like even half of season 2, you have to force yourself to watch. And then a show like Handmaid's Tale, where you watch the first episode and you are just watching it.
Yeah, we just started watching Handmaid's Tale.
Yes, we did.
We finished the first season today, and it was freaking awesome.
It's amazing.
I don't know if you guys haven't seen it. Have you seen it, Nick? Have you guys seen Handmaid's Tale?
I haven't seen all of it. I've only seen a little bit.
That shit is off the wall.
It's so
great.
Good,
Holy,
it's so
crap.
great. If you haven't
I
watched
need to
Handmaid's
watch
Tale,
it. I've only finished I think I've almost finished the first season.
I'm like freaking out when I'm watching.
I never even knew what it was about. Like my mom watched it. I was like, it's some type of medieval show where they wear.
It is not a medieval show.
It's not anything like what I thought it was. It's great. and I recommend
check
it
it
to
out.
anybody.
Elizabeth Moss is amazing.
Yeah.
And I need to check out Shirley, that new movie with her. She's getting an Oscar
for something
this year, maybe.
Yeah.
I've been saying that. Moving
We're late
on.
for stuff, if
Yeah.
you haven't noticed.
Yeah. Okay, so I read this article the other day, and I don't know. I always say I don't like to theorize about Star Wars, and I don't really like to anything that comes up Star Wars these days. I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, until I see it, obviously.
Yeah.
But there is a rumor going around that Hayden Christensen has signed on to be a series regular for
Whoa.
the Obi Wan Kenobi Disney Plus show.
Whoa.
I want to hear what your thoughts on that are. Thoughts on the Obi Wan show in general, and the thoughts on hearing this. I thought you'd have a kick out of that.
I don't know if anyone has seen the video where Ewan McGregor actually announces that he will return his role for Obi Wan Kenobi. It's a beautiful moment. I remember I was watching it on my phone, and the woman, he's on a stage, and the woman says, Ewan, are you going to reprise your role as Obi Wan Kenobi? And he grabs the microphone and he goes, yes. And everyone just freaks out in the crowd, and it's an amazing moment. And it was an amazing moment for me. And I was like, oh my God, this isn't a rumor anymore. This is real.
Yeah.
But to say that Hayden Christensen will also be in the show, I don't even know what to think. Like, it's amazing. Like, the duo back. Like, this is the early 2000s Star Wars duo back at it again. But also, it's like, how would it work? You know, because he's Darth Vader. You know?
Yeah.
I don't understand what they would do with that. But I mean, if it's true,
I could see. Yeah, I while you're saying that, I was thinking, well, he is Darth Vader, but I was like, maybe Obi-Wan has some kind of, if this is the way the story goes, some kind of internal conflict with maybe the ghost of Anakin. Maybe that could be a way they integrate him. I'm having pretty high hopes that Liam Neeson's going to show up in the show as Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm pretty sure that would be crazy. I mean, we haven't seen him in 20. Oh, it'll be over 20 years by the time this hits the screen, if that happens.
Here's the thing: they were saying Hayden Christensen was going to be in the new Star Wars movie, and he was. He did a voice at the very end. His voice is in when Rey is listening. And there's rumors that he actually shot a scene that they ended up cutting it out because they test screened it and people didn't like it or whatever.
Well, I didn't like the movie, so whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I'm excited for the show. I know there's been some trouble with it lately, but
Have you guys heard about Disney effectively trying to reset the past 3 movies?
I've heard that.
I'm super down with that idea.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that it's crazy. It's a crazy idea. Mm-hmm. It's never really been done, like in the history of cinema. Yeah. But if they did that, that would be insane.
Sean, I'd also like to hear what you think because it brings up a good point. Recently, John Boyega just came out and said he's moved on completely from his Star Wars characters. So if they go back and there's a new cast, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm cool with just getting a whole new. I didn't like any of the cast members. I didn't give a shit about Rey. None of them won my trust or anything. Yeah. They didn't work hard for any of their powers. Nah.
I'll say this, and I mean this. I loved Episode 7. I remember when it came out in theater. I watched it in 3D with my father and my brothers, and it was amazing. I remember when Han Solo dies, and it's like, oh my God, and then Rey gets the lightsaber, it goes past Kylo Ren, and she gets it, and then the music turns on, and you just get goosebumps.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that movie was great for me. And then the rest of the series, the rest of that trilogy just went down. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, when I heard about this, I'm glad you brought it up, actually, Sean. I was kind of like, that's like $1 billion going into 3 movies. Could that even happen? Would that even happen? And
it's definitely fan service.
I don't know. If it happened, I think everybody go check it out.
Yeah.
I myself, I don't know if you like 7.
I actually did like 7. That was the one that kind of was like, okay, I have hopes, and then they dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
Last
really
Jedi
liked 7.
was awful.
Yeah, Last Jedi was like disrespect to the entire.
I thought it had its
physics of
cool moments, you know, and I like Ryan Johnson. I think he did a great job with Knives Out.
We'll
I love
stay in
Looper,
your
but,
genre.
you know.
Ryan Johnson.
I will say Adam Driver was good. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, Adam Driver.
I love Adam Driver. Yeah. He was awesome, but I think they could have done so much. There's just so many different things they could do. That would be so crazy to see a entire trilogy. But I think the fans are so loyal that everybody go check it out.
Well,
you
here's
know?
the thing.
And everybody's dying
Mandalorian
for
is
something.
amazing.
Yeah.
Whoever's involved in that, whoever's in charge of that,
Favreau
just needs to be in charge of the new trilogy if they decide to do that. I mean, like Mandalorian gives you that Star Wars feeling, you know? And they don't, and it's crazy because they don't have John Williams, which like is a bit like music is a big part of cinema. Like the same music is really what brings you back. You hear that Jurassic Park soundtrack, you're back with the dinosaurs.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you hear that Indiana Jones, you got a whip in your hand. You know what I mean? It's like, but it's like, but it's like. That's what gives you the feeling. Like even if you're watching a scary movie and you hear that eerie music, like that sets the tone. You know, music sets the tone. And I think when you watch Mandalorian, the fact that they don't have John Williams, they don't have the same Star Wars music, but somehow they still bring you back to Star Wars, they're doing it right.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing something.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm in for a new Star Wars trilogy.
Me too.
Let's take it one step at a time. Like, I mean, you know, they always say they're going to do these movies, and then they don't, and then they do, and then they don't. You know, we could have seen a Yoda movie by now. You know that, right?
Yeah,
the
or
Yoda
Baby
movie was
Yoda
supposed
would
to come
be-
out, but I
Baby-
guess technically we have seen the Yoda movie
What?
with Mandalorian. It's kind of a Yoda thing now.
Kind of, I guess.
Yeah. We got any questions over there, Nick?
Yeah, sorry. We do have a couple. Sorry, I'm scrolling up to get to one of them. Did you have a question? No? Okay. What character or on TV or in a movie did you guys relate to the most? This is just like in general of all.
Wow.
It's a loaded question, but
Just like in anything, like that's broad.
yeah,
Ever?
anything. It's very broad. Is there just I don't know anything that's
I mean, I loved Harry Potter growing up. I always liked to
I can tell.
what the glasses.
Yeah, just
These
kidding.
are great glasses.
New.
These are new. You know, I don't think that I related to Harry Potter, but I think that Harry Potter kind of like shaped how I've become in a weird way. I know that sounds cheesy, but like it's true. Like I like the parts that impact me the most in movies and stuff is when I see like the one brave guy stand up and do the right thing when everyone else is too scared to do anything. Like that's Harry Potter, you know, or that's the hero. And like when I see stuff like that, I've always wanted to be that guy because those were the role models I had growing up, you know.
I was like deep in thought that entire time, thinking about mine. But
Great.
yeah, like
Now you
I
have
guess to go off of you, kind of that hero aspect. I mean, yeah, I always say Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's kind of
Yeah,
For
exactly.
me, you know, that's I don't know. I definitely don't identify with shooting webs, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Like,
identify with.
Yeah, right. You know, I guess you look at your hero and go with that. But yeah, I'd say that for that answer.
Yeah.
Anything else over there? No.
right
okay.
now, no.
Here's
but
a
we'll
good
get
one.
some more.
I don't have much left, but we checked out. I got a couple more things.
I got some things I could bring
Great,
up
I'd
too.
love to hear them.
Yeah.
But remember, we watched this trailer. I don't know if you guys checked it out, Nick. It's called Possessor. This movie took place at Sundance Film Festival earlier this year.
So it's already been seen by people.
It's got Andrea Riseborough from The Grudge that we watched the other day, Nick, and then Christopher Abbott. He's one of my new favorite actors right now. He was in Girls, Catch-22 most recently. He was up for an Emmy last year, I believe. And I'm not completely sure about the plot of this movie. I hear it's about this corporate agent that can inhabit a person's body and make them go commit assassinations. So it's kind of like a hitman, but you're putting yourself in somebody else's body, and she puts herself into this guy whose identity threatens her. threatens to obliterate her.
And
or
if you
something like that. I
watch
don't
the
know how it is.
trailer, you won't understand.
No,
like,
but
it doesn't make any sense.
It's
but
sticking in my head.
It still looks good though. You want to rewatch it. You want to rewatch the trailer, which is rare.
But definitely something to go check out right now. And another thing is Grey's Anatomy. I don't usually talk about Grey's Anatomy, but just an interesting article I read. Grey's Anatomy is coming back for a 17th season.
Jesus.
But they're going to be tackling COVID-19 in the storyline this entire next season. I want to hear what your thoughts on that might be. I mean, this is kind of the first big thing we're going to see, doctors tackling COVID like in Grey's Anatomy.
Well, just like everyone else in America, my mom loves Grey's Anatomy. And I never really watched it, but my mom did, and I would walk in on her watching it, Just
I guess that's how it
is.
goes. I do the same thing.
Like you grow up watching it because your mom watches it. So I know all the characters and stuff, but I've never actually sat down and watched it. It's a typical drama that takes place in a hospital where the problems are always, we don't have this, but we need this. Or this guy's going to die right now.
But now it's interesting that they're, taking a real life event that's happening right now and putting that into the entire.
And that's crazy. I don't know how they're going to film it, but
real quick.
But that,
so, I've kind of kept up with Grey's Anatomy over the years because of, my mom and stuff. This is just, a little off-topic from what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
But is it just me, or has, the CGI, they've added CGI and, with the helicopter scenes and stuff? Dude, recently, this, the stuff in it has just been awful looking. The show just looks like shit now.
I can't speak for Grey's Anatomy.
Seattle, right?
But because I haven't seen enough Grey's Anatomy to talk about if the CGI has gotten worse. But I can say that I was watching an early 2000s movie the other day. I'm talking 2009, right? And the CGI looked better.
Late 2000s.
Then. Even if you go watch a movie from 2005, I'm telling you, some of the CGI then looks better. I don't understand what's going on, but somehow, the CGI looks like it's gotten worse in movies.
Same. I don't know if it's because I was younger, but, I remember, the plane crash scene and, some other scenes, didn't look too bad. But I remember
I know what you're talking
my
about.
brother and his girlfriend were watching, a newer season a couple years ago. And it just looked so bad. They were trying to do just too much for it.
Yeah.
I think.
I think
maybe so.
I think the best comparison is I always thought that Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. the original looks way better. Than Avengers Endgame. I felt like this 2008.
Dude, that's so.
And same
true.
with Inception and. Avatar. I guess Avatar. I wasn't really. I don't know, but that stuff. And then you see some stuff now. It's weird. I don't know if it's
watch Spider-Man: Homecoming, and
exactly.
The physics don't even look right. They've
Spider-Man
got
versus
video
Spider-Man
games that can do physics better than the CGA and. It looks weird.
Yeah.
Dude, even Spider-Man looks better in Spider-Man
Maguire.
3 was
Spider-Man 2. Yeah, totally.
It's crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you watch The Amazing Spider-Man. That's not even that old. That came out in 2012. You go watch that movie, and the CGI looks better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which one? The first one or the second one?
The Amazing Spider-Man, best suit.
That's
I
a
thought
debate.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 was better. I thought that was the most accurate.
That is a controversial
The only
debate.
thing I'd see it for is the suit, honestly. But I know. Yeah, I like the first one, that suit too.
Yeah.
Didn't like the new ones, but
But going back to superheroes and Chris Evans. If you have Apple TV and you haven't seen Defending Jacob, what are you paying for? Go watch
Morning
Defending
Show?
Jacob. Morning Show's great too.
Morning Show's amazing.
But Defending Jacob was surprisingly really good.
Yeah, it really was.
It keeps you captivated. You don't know who did what. It's like a murder mystery. You're guessing the whole time, and crazy stuff happens. It's pretty good. It's an easy watch. So I would definitely check that out.
Anything else from you today, Nick?
I actually had a question because you guys brought up Jon Favreau just talking about all that. Did you guys ever watch it's called Chef, right? His movie that he released? Did you ever see that?
And then he did the Netflix special.
Right, did you ever see that movie?
I never saw the movie.
You have to check it out. Let's check it out soon. I've obviously seen it, but I think it's a phenomenal movie. I think it's...
Is that on Netflix?
Is it like Whiplash, but for chefs?
It's...
No, I mean... I don't really know. I haven't seen it in a while, but I kind of just remember it's a lot of him just moving around and cooking, and I don't. It's just a very a good a good story.
It's definitely
like Ratatouille, but not animation.
The stakes are high. The food has to be good.
Definitely his passion because he did the show too.
Yeah, it's
That's
really
awesome.
good.
I'll
Isn't Robert Downey Jr. in it?
I believe
he
is.
Like that?
It's on Netflix, I do believe.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, and I believe he
Jr.
is.
Yeah.
Star-studded cast on that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
definitely
good.
have to check that out. Anything else from you, Kurt?
Yeah,
before
actually, sure.
I mean, hey.
Well, I mean, just speaking about COVID and the way it's affected, it's kind of crazy to think that the movie Trolls 2 is going to go down in history. Just because, not because it's probably a shitty movie. I haven't even seen it, but just because it was the first movie that was supposed to go into a movie theater that was released digitally, and then Scoob came out, and then that whole thing with Universal Studios. Yeah. Oh my God, that scared me. Which I think is resolved now.
The Universal and the AMC
thing, that
whole thing.
Yeah, if any, for those of you that don't know, which I think everyone has heard it by now, but for a very long period of time, Universal Studios basically said we're not going to. No. AMC said we're not going to show any Universal Studios movies at our theaters because they decided that they were going to stream their movies at home and at the theaters at the same time, which is totally they can't do that. They've signed contracts and stuff. Yeah. So, but I think that got resolved. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if we talked about this before, but Fast and the Furious, Wolfman, I guess, coming out now. All that stuff.
All of those movies
really
wouldn't go into the theater.
And those are billion-dollar franchises.
Yeah.
Or franchises that are going to be $1 billion. So I don't know.
And for people that don't have big TVs at their house, they've got a simple setup, small little TV. People don't want to watch all their movies on their laptop screen. Yeah. People want to go to the movie theater. Mm-hmm. I sure as heck miss it.
I do too. And, bringing up that, I mean, they just delayed Tenet indefinitely. We don't have a release date now.
I was going to say, actually, I was just reading an article that was criticizing Christopher Nolan pretty hard.
Oh, no.
About how he's being pretty selfish about only wanting to release it in cinema and stuff. And then it was actually saying about how a lot of people are wanting him to release it on VOD. So then that goes down for having most brought in money for
instead of Trolls.
Yeah, instead of Trolls. That's literally what the article is talking about.
Because Warner Brothers, right? It's a Warner Brothers film.
They need 500 to break even. I hear is what they need.
Interesting.
Or 455.
Yeah, and this person that wrote the article, I think it was film school dropouts or something. Do you know that?
I do. Yeah.
I don't. Is it dropouts or something? I don't know.
Something like that.
But yeah, it was just ripping on him about how he needs to be more aware of the people's safety instead of wanting to just release it in theaters.
I see where he's coming from, but that movie. I mean, every Christopher Nolan movie is meant to be seen in a theater.
It's shot in IMAX. You don't watch an IMAX movie at home. You just don't.
I don't know.
No, I agree, but I don't know. It was just interesting to read.
The best part of Star Wars 9 was that 8-minute, opening sequence from Tenet in the IMAX theater.
That's true.
It's true. Yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe a movie like A Quiet Place could possibly be released at home. Maybe you let loose a little bit on that one.
Get a little snuggy.
Or The Candyman. Release The Candyman. Let us watch it.
Yeah.
Sure.
A lot of movies. And No Time to Die is apparently looking for a 2021 release date.
And people will pay the $20 to. That's been proven.
Well, not me and Nick. We always find a way. High five.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
we pay for it. What are you talking about?
We pay for it.
Don't say that.
We pay for it.
I pay for it. You come over to my house and you watch it with me.
And then
that
you
way
feel like
don't
it's
have to
free.
pay for it.
It's not free.
Not free. I pay for it. $20, right?
$20.
Exactly. And it's been proven that people will pay for it. Did Scoob make a lot of money? I don't even know.
No, it went to HBO Max.
Yeah, but at first when it came out, it was $20. You couldn't
I'm not
watch
sure.
it.
I don't know.
That's all the movies, though. All the ones they're releasing on VOD are all $20, which I don't really understand because I feel like if they made it the normal $5, they're going to make a lot more money because there's more people are going to buy it.
They're trying to make up for those ticket costs they thought they were going to get.
Yeah, but if they make it cheaper, more people are going to buy it because more people are home. So it's just if you have more people, it's cheaper. It's just going to add up eventually.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Well, that's all I got for today. Don't forget that we've got Romance and Rebellion on next week on Tuesday. You'll have to come by Thursday to see me and Nick Curry. Thanks again for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure to have you on, man.
Yeah.
Had a great time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, yada, yada, on Couch Guy at Spotify.
Don't forget to watch Contemplation, my film. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Give it a shot. It's something.
And if there's any final words to be said, me and Cooper just finished our film Meanwhile Outside the Bank. We just put it into a bunch of film festivals, so we're waiting to hear back on that.
None of them.
I doubt it. I think we'll make it.
All right. Yeah.
I'm hopeful.
Well, everybody have a good night. Thanks for coming. We'll see you later.